All right, so going to the next match here, we have Nalguidan versus StrifeCro, as we have Shaman for Nalguidan and Hunter for StrifeCro.
Is this Frodan's match of the day?
Is it my match of the day?
Pff.
It kind of is the featured match of the day, TJ. So by
Is it
default, it's
also-
not allowed to be Frodan's featured
Okay, it
match
has to be
of the
something
day.
different. Was the last one Frodan's feature match of the day?
Maybe we'll see. Check out this video.
Hello, my name is Kong Shu. My handle is StrifeCro. One of my favorite esports memory, it was like a dream hack. I ended up having like this epic, I don't even know how long, this game against Glinto. Eventually he beat me in that game, but I kind of brought the mage to the tournament, not as say I thought it was the best thing ever, but because I just wanted to show people I could destroy everyone with my kind of troll deck.
I'm Facundo Pruso, more known as Nalguidan. Outside gaming, I like to do sports. I like to do a lot of swimming. I think it's very good for me to practice Hearthstone. I do a lot of thinking. Being isolated from the world in the water helps me thinking lineups and decks and that stuff.
I think my play is unique in the sense that I'm very technical. I really like to have my thoughts and game plans planned out and go from there. I think a lot of players are kind of the opposite, where they are very intuition focused. But I don't think I'll ever be playing the same decks over and over again. I think a key part of the league is that you want some unpredictability.
I know I'm not that good of a deck builder, but I think I'm pretty good at recognizing what decks are good and how to improve them. I don't know if other players already respect me or not. I think having the same players playing every week will create more rivalries. If I lose to someone in the first round, I will try to beat him more in the second one.
The thing I'm most looking forward to in Grandmasters is kind of the dynamic. You have 2 matchups a week, and you can kind of target them. You can start making spreadsheets, see what they play, see what decks are good against the decks that they play. You can even kind of play some mind games like that. My personal goals this year is kind of to get back into Hearthstone. Because I took such a long break, I feel like I'm finally refreshed and ready to go. So it's one thing I'm just looking forward to get that motivation back.
Nalguidan versus StrifeCro with an unusual protect and ban strategy. The Shaman Druid combination here for Nalguidan, where he protects his Shaman, bans the Druid. We haven't seen it that often, but we have seen it every now and then, happening earlier today in Asia Pacific with Chonsu versus Shaxi. And then with StrifeCro with the Hunter protect and Druid ban. Seems like StrifeCro's on the APAC line.
Fight with honor.
But he's not even going to play it first. He's just going to queue up his mech paladin.
So this is, I think, smart from StrifeCro, but I'm not sure because his lineup is weird, and it's hard to go through all the iterations of matchups because there's always the deck that you don't have to play.
Well, he's anticipating Priest being played first. That's usually what ends up happening.
Well, he banned the Priest.
You are correct.
So he wants to... His Hunter is good against the Warrior in theory and the Paladin. So if he takes a win with his Paladin first, then Nalguidan may be able to get a win in with Shaman versus Hunter, but then his second matchup is going to be weak, and that's where the Hunter comes in.
Sure. Let me look up some data here and see what does Mech Paladin do against Shaman.
Godspeed, Dan. I don't know, but you know, I
if you were to guess, what would you think it is?
That Mech Paladin wins. They get onto the board very fast, and Shaman's only way to interact with it is Urshock or Plague of Murlocs, of which Nalguidan has one. He has one Urshock.
According to the latest patch across all ranks, Mech Paladin has a 55-45 edge against Quest Shaman. It's very interesting.
I think that would get even better as the sample size increases.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Madame Lazul.
Unfortunately for StrifeCro, though, he hasn't hit a lot of his early game power. Didn't hit Crystology. Didn't hit, I guess he hit Galvanizer. but the card draw plus Glowstone Technician is what you're kind of really looking for. Okay, another Galvanizer. It's going to allow him to squeeze in a lot more plays. It's just how does he spend this mana? If he Prismatic Lens now, it leads him into a pretty nice Glowstone Technician, although Faceless Manipulator does not benefit from it.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he needs a Prismatic Lens. Glowstone Technician, just as a general buff, is still good enough, but I think he's also on the curve for the War Gear.
Float like a butterfly.
This is like a lot to handle. The 1/1 trades perfectly into the other Farmer Champ. And now StrifeCro has an opportunity to Galvanize or War Gear and then Faceless next turn.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
I mean, drawing both Prismatic Lens like this also opens up some big opportunities. Either one, for a very cheap mech because you have 2 Crystologies, or 2, a very cheap Kangors because you have cheap mechs. Like, it's opens up some really powerful potential with both Prismatic Lens drawn. Because Prismatic Lens is that middle ground.
Yeah, I like the Galvanizer War Gear play. I do think that you can make a justification for Glowstone Technician, but I don't want this 5/5 to get a free trade on my Galvanizer. That's the big thing that I'm trying to think about.
Yeah.
Mech Paladin is all about momentum. Any mech deck in general. Mech Hunter, Mech Paladin. Whoa, a trade. What's the trade for?
Of course it's the right way.
Earthshock.
Yeah, I guess playing around the Earthshock.
Because all this stuff is attached to a Galvanizer. Nalguidan just trying to put stuff on board to complete the quest and hope to have a chance to fight. So cards that are on StrifeCro's mind, Mind Control takes a big one.
Are you kidding me? That's a big draw here for StrifeCro. Because now he can use Snip Snap to get the trade and to stack the existing big Galvanizer. He's not going to overreact and immediately play it. He's going to think about it, but I mean, it's hard to turn that down,
Especially with Faceless in hand.
Yeah.
Because if you dodge Earthshock for 1 turn,
It doesn't matter. I mean,
You're
he still has good stuff. Nalguidan takes 11. He is in crisis mode. He needs to find a way to answer this now, or he is dead.
I hope you like my invention.
2 draws.
Giggling Inventor, Earthshock!
Big pickup. Now Nalguidan has another opportunity to choose here if he wants to trade into the 3/2. And then go for the Sandstorm Elemental. That was the exact cards he needed. But we still have some more Hearthstone to play here. Prismatic Lens. Big opportunity here.
If Nalguidan didn't pick up the Earthshock, it was game over.
Oh yeah.
Faces would have come down next turn. There would have been no way.
That's the name of the game for almost every mech deck, period.
Let me
Which
think.
is clear the board, and then they hit a point of awkwardness. But I want to say one thing is that do not underestimate the power of Glowstone Technician.
I forgot about the Blessing of Wisdom.
All right, though.
Reporting for duty.
That's a
So this
very underwhelming.
Yeah,
Prismatic Lens.
so the Faceless Manipulator is a 5-mana 5/5 now, but it doesn't carry over the buffs.
No, it just copies whatever stats of the minion that you copy with it. Unless you play it on an empty board.
So in this position, if I'm Nalguidan, I'm actually contemplating trying to play Giggling Inventor in this position. Another thing that you can consider is bouncing the Novice Engineer.
Double pump Azarano, extra Star Whip, High Mountain Ice Room for Mana Spice
Sure.
coming right up.
That works as well. 2 Sandstorm Elementals are actually pretty strong against a board that can go reasonably wide. I kind of want to Lens again here.
Yeah. Kangor is just super weak right now.
Well, so here's the thing. I think you're not going to win on Kangors for a while. What you end up doing is Glowstone Technician, buff a bunch of mechs, combine them all and faceless into one, faceless, and get the momentum up.
So you're looking at Crystology for Prismatic Lens.
Yeah, I'm looking for Crystology more than anything else. But Crystology gets swapped with another mech cost. So I actually want to draw like Skater Bot and Crystology. Like I just want 2 cheap minions. Then next turn I play Ghost and Technician. Then next turn I play Faceless. Like I play like a big mech with Ziliax and Ghost and Technician.
Quickly.
That's partially why I think that early Ghost and Technician, while it can be valuable for StrifeCro to fight for the board, it's also a little tricky here. Yeah, I think this is a hero power.
Reporting for duty.
He's got a lot of potential to fight back with his hand.
Well, one thing that Nalguidan has as well is that the Giggly Inventor sets up Annoyatrons with Divine Shield, which is going to make it difficult for StrifeCro to fight back. Whoa, this is major greed.
Nalguidan's going for value, which, I don't know.
He has so many Novice Engineers. Why do you need to bounce that?
I hope you
I guess
like
for
my invention.
stats?
You could bounce anything for stats.
Right.
It is a lot of stats, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's just like, man, you have a lot already going on.
Yeah. All right, how greedy can we get?
Not really that greedy anymore, unfortunately.
Because the super greed play would be Glowstone Technician and next turn Skaterbot Ziliax Faceless.
I think you might have to do it now.
Yeah, but it doesn't line up super well onto the board. You would have 2/4/3 Ziliax, which don't really kill anything.
Well, if you Glowstone Technician Ziliax, it's a 5.
Ooh, a rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
Reporting for duty.
If he doesn't die this turn, next turn he is effectively heals to full.
Right. But that's where what I was arguing, the Annoyatrons are really important. So from Nalguidan's perspective, I'd really like him to play Giggling Inventor in this spot.
Well, now he doesn't even gain the effect unless he trades in a bunch of his board of the actual Annoyatrons. He'd have to trade away 2 minions on board.
Well, maybe he just trades a little bit, pushes damage, and then goes for normal Giggling Inventor.
How much damage was he off lethal? 9 plus 5, 14. He only needed 7 damage.
This guy's
Yeah, you know, I like the Giggling Inventor play a lot. But he still has Titanic Lackey, which is fine.
I hope you like
Can
my
make it
invention.
complicated for StrifeCro's trades.
Yeah. So Ziliax is a 5/4 and Skaterbot's a 3/3. So it'd be an 8/7. He'd have 2 8/7s with Rush and Lifesteal.
Right. Thing is, they don't have taunt. Oh, they do it.
They do have taunt.
Yes. What am I thinking?
Oh, stack him up.
It's not that big of a deal, but it still helps.
I mean, now it's a 9/10.
It's a lot of damage. A lot of statistics.
Converting stored energy.
Unity, precision, perfection.
It's a lot of perfection. Well, you're definitely trading it off from mind control tech, right? So you're gonna trade off this 1/1.
Yep. I'm probably trading off the 5/4 also.
Sure, but where's the 5/4 go? Novice? 9/10 goes into Lackey? Barista? Probably Barista.
Reporting for duty.
He's already got a full hand. Full life. And now with these next die, that gives StrifeCro an opportunity to maybe pull out a Hail Mary with the Kangors. And that's where I wanted the Giggling Inventors. But then, upon realization, if you play Giggling Inventor, what's your follow-up? Like, you have a bunch of 1/2s on board. Is there a way for you to... So he's doing it afterwards.
Now StrifeCro gets to face this again.
Right.
He can can actually War Gear and Faceless.
War Gear Faceless. And this is starting to get out of control. I think Nalguidan really needs to find Plague of Murlocs.
Plague of
Or
Murloc?
Earthshock or Hex. Any transformative effects.
All of those.
Faceless Lackey is an interesting choice given that it's just a 1/1.
He just needs to dump his hand.
Yeah.
He's getting a Lackey back.
Mechano Egg.
Oof. War Gear's a 7/7. So he
This
would
is hard to turn down.
He would Faceless a 16/17 Zilliax.
Another alternative you can do is Blessing of Wisdom and then Faceless to draw cards. And I think there's also merit in doing that.
Yeah. He's got so many cards in hand, though.
Woo! Some big boys.
Unity.
Imagine you're allowed to go above 30. StrifeCro would be gaining 41 life this turn. That is a lot of statistics.
Nalguidan has limitations of hand size,
Yeah.
but he's got 2 Ethereal Lackeys, so if he can dump his hand, he can probably find answers.
I mean, sort of. This is kind of like an Inner Fire Priest that you're going up against.
He gets to see 6 spells, each Ethereal Lackey.
Assuming he has the hand space to do it.
Assuming he has hand space, yeah. He can dump things like Sandstorm Elemental.
Okay, Flesh Shaper is good, so you play that, and then you Hero Power Ethereal Lackey.
Yep.
Mortals are so squishy.
You know, as long as he finds one answer.
Okay, Hero Power, and we Lackey.
Yeah, I don't want to trade first in case you find Plague of Murlocs.
Or Hex, or anything. No? Blazing Invocation instead?
Earthen might also.
Earthshock. It's good for 1. So you hit the 16/16. It's also really important because these are not dying for the Kangor pool. Slowly chipping away at it. I want another Giggling Inventor.
Yeah.
To the bomb now.
It just buys him so much time.
Yeah, that can never get through.
Also-
That is the biggest problem. I love Giggling Inventor against mech decks. I think
Also,
it's
the
really
Giggling Inventor is now a 6/5.
fun. Oh yeah, you're right. Not gonna play anything else. I think StrifeCro is desperate enough that he needs to start going for Blessing of Wisdom to try to draw cards here.
Yeah. Nalguidan might fatigue him. That's thinking long down the road, but StrifeCro still has both Crystallogies left in his deck. And like Skater.
Spot 4, 5, 6, 7,
Squishy.
8, 11 damage. This is a clear.
Yep. We might even find another Earthshock.
Nothing.
Totemic Smash. Mutate. Well, the Mutate doesn't allow him to use it on the Flesh Shaper right now, because he needs everything to kill the 6/11. 16/11, excuse me.
Yeah, and his Giggling Inventor's already a 6/5.
Imagine StrifeCro gaining life again. I was thinking about every trade that I went into. He'd just be in the hundreds. That's how silly it is. Now he can evolve. Lucent Bark.
That's interesting.
Too much lackey value. Crystology, way too late. StrifeCro can pick up Bronze Gatekeepers and other things, but Ethereal Lackeys just keep coming to the hand. And eventually, Shaman's going to get all the stuff that they need. That being said, this is still another magnetic, and StrifeCro could get a big Kangors.
Access denied.
Might as well.
Converting stored energy.
Just stack it all.
I think he wants the Blessing of Wisdom again to draw a card. I think his last out, in his mind, his last out is Kangors reviving like 3 incredible mechs. There's a realistic chance he never gets to use Blessing of Wisdom again next turn. So he bumps. Anoia Module Skaterbot is a pretty powerful combination to use on the Robosaur that comes out. Looks like he's just going to protect this 412.
Yeah. I just don't think he has enough attacks to win because Nalguidan.
Yeah, he's got Giggling Inventor.
He's got Giggling Inventor. He's effectively a Bloodlust away from one of these million Ethereal Lackeys that he's getting for winning the game.
Yeah, Nalguidan trying to dump his hand so that he can get Ethereal Lackey.
Nothing.
Zap, Hagatha Scheme, Ancestral Healing. Look like Zap's the most efficient here. Bloodlust. It's got to be the Bloodlust for sure.
Yep.
Trying to figure out if Nalguidan has to do anything, but I like a Life Breaker in this position.
It's just the biggest thing.
Yes. Again, Paladin not having any of the burst or AoE clear. Can't really do much here.
Yeah, Nalguidan doing his best to set up for the Bloodlust lethal next turn.
Okay.
Call to Adventure.
More card draw so that you call to Adventure first, Blessing of Wisdom, and then try to draw the Kangors.
Yeah, but it's...
Lowest cost minions deck is Bronze Gatekeeper, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
he's a 1-of.
No, he has 2 Bronze Gatekeepers. We just started the game. We started our tracker late. He played the Bronze Gatekeeper on turn
Got it. You're right.
3 or 2 or 3.
Sure, spread the love. Skaterbot allows it to trade in immediately.
Let me think.
You kill a Lucent Bark if he trades Mechanoid first and Skaterbot's the Robosaur.
Is this lethal?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Yes, it should be lethal, I guess.
Bloodlust. The Evil Totem goes over the 4/3 egg,
Right.
and then there's 10 damage on board plus 15 from Bloodlust for the other 5 minions that can attack.
Exciting back and forth, but the Mech Paladin just fell really short the moment the Earthshock came in.
Yep. Like the setup from StrifeCro though, because he was if he dodges Earthshock for 1 more turn, he wins the game. Because then he has 2 of these big threats. Now get on sub 10 health. And most likely gets there. So setup from StrifeCro was there. I like the way he played that early game. But unfortunately, that's where the techs come in. That's why we see players bringing... It's mostly for Priest, Plague of Murlocs, and Earthshock. It just happens to splash against Mech Paladin, which nobody really expected, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's just the first game in this best of 3, so we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have more Hearthstone action with StrifeCro and Nalguidan. Stay tuned.
Rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tombs, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the market, mysticism. There should
Sam Braithwaite, and I'm the Senior Global Franchise Lead for Hearthstone Esports. This event was especially cool because it takes place right after the brand new expansion Rise of Shadows. Historically in Hearthstone Esports, we do our big events like this towards the end of an expansion cycle, but we really wanted to shake things up and really showcase that not only is the world champion the person who can pilot the best decks, but also the person who, when presented with a brand new game, can put together the best decks leading into the World Championship. Cheers to you guys, the sold out crowd here for the HCT 2019 World Championship.
Welcome back to 2019 HCT World Championship.
We've had a lot of fun games, and we're looking forward to the grand finals. Showdown. Viper versus Hunter Ace. Only one can be the champion. Oh, come on!
Match be dead.
Wacko pick a Vix coming out from Hunter Ace.
It's now or never. Archvillain reform.
Okay! In a completely solved game, Hunter Ace finds a way to maximize his chances. It's been a wonderful journey throughout the past few years of the Hearthstone Championship Tour, where stars were made and dreams came true.
Nalguidan versus StrifeCro continues as we have Warrior versus the Hunter. Reno Hunter being a deck that what we call is a very underrated deck in Hearthstone up against Warrior. What do you think, TJ, about Reno Hunter?
I like it a lot. I think that it's underestimated in the current metagame, but I understand why it's in the position that it is. I think it does have good matchups against Priest, but it does have a lot of more inconsistent draws than some of the other Highlander decks. Obviously, it has Zephyrs and it has Dino Tamer Brand, which are fantastic. But its early game, which is necessary in a lot of matchups, specifically Priest, which a lot of players consider Highlander Hunter to be a soft counter to Priest. You can have some hands where you're just going to lose to most Priest hands, which is not acceptable when you're considering it a counter. Against Warrior, you know, there was, for a long time, players that said that the matchup was good for the Highlander Hunter. But I think that's tapered off a little bit. I don't think it's as good of a matchup as maybe a lot of people assumed when we were back at Masters Tour Seoul. But I still think it has a lot of game. It can pressure early. The threat of some secrets can force some weird plays out of the Warrior, specifically Rat Trap. And Zul'jin gives you a lot of reload. Now, StrifeCro is missing some tools that can help in those kind of long matchups, those kind of resource-heavy matchups. He doesn't have Hunter's Pack, which is kind of a weird thing to call a good tool against any matchup, because most of the time it was just there to fill a gap, right? You're like, well, I don't have any other cards that I want to put in my Highlander Hunter deck, and I can only play one of each. But having like just an extra weapon, maybe a chance at an Eaglehort Bow, a secret that your opponent can't read, and a chance at high rolling an extra beast, and more resource generation with Zul'jin was a big deal. But we'll see. A lot can happen in these matchups, and one thing's for certain, Hunter can put on some very consistent pressure.
Yeah, especially with the curve. But Nalguidan's got double Town Crier, which I gotta say, it really stifles the development of it. And you can see that he has all these techs to try to answer the early game Priest. The early game from Priest, excuse me. But all those rush mains are going to be able to answer StrifeCro very easily.
Yeah, and if you fall behind on board against Warrior with this deck, you're spending your entire turn speed reactive, you're not weaving in hero powers and pushing chip damage, you're in for some trouble.
TJ, this hand is looking like fire from Nalguidan.
No tune can hold me. No tune can hold me.
Yeah, this is pretty rough.
Looking real bad. Okay, that's a good draw. The Ursatron's actually fairly important to help get the Ziliax out of the deck, but help keep your pressure to go up, because you don't want your opponent to be able to answer this Ursatron very easily. So the fact that it's a mech is nice, so Dynamac doesn't clear it. But that's where the Militia Commander comes in. Oh my gosh. Nalguidan, he's just drawing everything he needs right now. Warrior is just gonna dunk this this hunter. Alright, I'm just watching it unfold right before my very eyes. Because now he has Dynamatic on 5. He has Armageddillo into Ziliax. He has Warpath Plague of Wrath, and he has Dr. Boom. That spells a victory, in my opinion. Now, of course, there's still a couple things that can happen. StrifeCro can still draw his Brand, but even his Brand's not that good. I think his best draw is actually Subject 9.
Subject 9, I think, is the best draw. There's a lot of other things that can happen, too. Zephyrus can pile on a lot of pressure, but it's kind of checked because Nalguidan has Weapons Project. Eagle Horn Bow is surprisingly effective against Warrior, but again, Weapons Project kind of checks it. Can't check both, but I think the big thing is, like, this Hunter deck just keeps on trucking, right? You can keep pressing hero power. You can keep putting annoying minions that your opponent wants to remove. Like, even just Unleash the Beast. Like, you Unleash the Beast, okay, Dynamatic. Unleash the Beast again, trade over your Dynamatic. Then you answer that. And it seems like it's just a constant wave of annoying stuff while they keep on hero powering.
Right.
And eventually you can get to this point where, like, they have this burst damage loaded up. And, of course, Zul'jin can also be a factor in all this.
Yeah, Zul'jin is the real key, I'd say.
So you can never fully count them out. And there will come a point where StrifeCro has, like, Rat Trap in play. So Nalguidan's trying to play around that while also trying to develop. And StrifeCro just still pressing hero power every turn. So when you're limited to 2 cards and you're under constant pressure, and there's always the threat of Dino Tamer Brand looming, it's like you're trying to do all these things at once, and then before you know it, you look up and you're dead to Dino Tamer Brand. Like, those things can happen. So that was a snipe.
Yes, snipe coming out here from StrifeCro, and a pass from Nalguidan, which tells StrifeCro that he has a very reactive hand. There's not much he can really do about that. Houndmaster Shaw is okay, but it does pull out the Dynamatic. The nice thing is that this discourages Nalguidan from playing Armageddillo on curve, which is good for StrifeCro, because he cannot answer Armageddillo. Not easily, at least.
Yeah.
So Nalguidan attacks, sees no Snake Trap, can play Dynamatic now. Snake Trap would have complicated things and most likely kept the Houndmaster Shaw alive.
Light the fuses!
Eagle Horn Bow came a little bit late. That actually would have been a nice way for him to weave in that damage.
Yeah.
Eagle Horn Bow with secrets is pretty silly.
Yeah, I always find this matchup really interesting because it can seem like the Warrior can get ahead, and the Hunter can still pull out wins in those kinds of situations. The times where they don't pull out wins is when Armadillo hits the board and it buffs Tomb Wardens. Like, you just have no way to deal with that. You have a Deadly Shot, which deals with 1. And then you're just spending all these tools every turn in a deck that already lacks on Cycle quite a bit. Like Subject 9 and Ursatron is pretty much it.
Yeah, I think StrifeCro is doing the thing that we should all do as Reno Hunters, which is to start counting down as if my opponent is missing 8 lives from King Crush.
Yep.
So StrifeCro's like weaving hero powers every single time I can. That's the way I can come back in this game. So based off of that line, what can be done in this spot?
Siamant, Divine Shield, Rush. Trade both in.
I wonder.
It's not very clean.
You can Siamant, Divine Shield, Wind Fury. Leave the Armadillo up. But you saw the buff, so that's risky.
Winds of the South, come to my aid.
I like the Divine Shield Rush the best, but not happy about it. Nalguidan has the, well, you know, he does have the Plague of Wrath here. I think I like that, just to be safe.
Sets him up for the best possible Dr. Boom turn next turn.
Yeah, unless his opponent has Dino Tamer Brand, but StrifeCro would have played it already.
I
Dino
don't know.
Tamer Brand would have changed a lot.
I like to be really greedy with Dino Tamer Brand in this matchup. Like, I play it for the kill. Unless I have to. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because
Why is that?
The threat of it is oftentimes worse than the actual damage from it. Like, once it's out of the way, they have so much freedom.
Do they, though?
Yeah.
Because they're missing 8 life.
Yeah, but it gives them a chance to use tools, and you want them to use those tools. I mean, I guess it's changed in the current landscape because you have, like, less Omega Devastators.
Yeah,
in general.
imagine Nalguidan is missing 8 life. Instead of being down to 20 this turn, he's down to 12.
That 8 life's always going to be there.
Right, but the man's bested out of the way. I don't know. I like playing Bran on curve.
You usually have a ton of mana to work with. I mean, if you have it on curve, sure. Curve on an empty board, yeah. But like if you draw it on like turn 12 or 13, if you have other things to do, I would do other things.
I'm so
That's just my personal approach.
I think we jam it.
Like now, he has literally nothing else to do.
It's not true.
I mean, come on. He could kill Command Face.
Seems good to me.
You'll find me wherever the action is.
Oh, yeah. 10 damage upstairs. Even swing with the weapon. I like it. Taking out the opportunity for Nalguidan to waste that 3 damage. StrifeCro on the game plan. Yeah, this seems a lot better, TJ.
If you have nothing else to do, of course you're going to play Dino Tamer Brand.
You play King Crush when you can.
All I was saying
answer it.
was there's certain situations where I wouldn't. I said like 12, 13, and beyond if you have things to do. Not on 10 when you literally have nothing else to do.
That sounds like unlikely scenario.
It's not, though. I played a lot of this map.
I'm a simple man. I see orange border card, I play.
Yeah.
He's going to 50-50 brawl. Gets it.
Still not out of the woods yet. Because now he's...
Oh, Tyrion.
But he's... yeah. He swung with the Eaglehorn bow, though.
Right.
But Nalguidan also has Spellbreaker. I understand the Eaglehorn bow swing.
Spellbreaker doesn't answer the 6/6.
It doesn't answer the 6/6, no.
Oh, that's funny. It detects that you have secrets. Like, would you like Eaglehorn bow instead?
Wow, Zephyrs is pretty smart.
I wonder if StrifeCro is thinking about Defender of Argus, but that's just too weak to Warpath, I think.
Yeah. And the question is, do you play Tyrion now? Yeah, you do. I'm way too greedy with the hero power.
The thing is, Spellbreaker doesn't answer the minion.
It doesn't answer the minion, yeah.
But he has Spellbreaker plus Ziliax.
Put your faith in the light.
And Weapons Project. He has like every possible check.
Yes. Nalguidan just has all the answers. He even has Spellbreaker Brawl, which on average removes a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But
So the secrets in play are Pressure Plate and
Your
Explosive Trap.
magic shall not save.
The 6/6 lives. That's still a lot of damage that Nalguidan's taken.
oh my goodness. Nalguidan just destroying everything. Winning the brawls. He won back-to-back brawls. Won a 1-4 and won a 1-2. It is just unlikely that happens, and he is killing it right now.
That with the Earthshock last game, this is
Now, despite
absurd.
that play, I still wonder if there's an opportunity for StrifeCro here.
Well, also, Nalguidan just has so much heal as follow-up. Like, Weapons Project, now that he has no weapons to worry about. Shield Block, Ziliax. He just plays 2 Morden here, and they can attach his Ziliax to it next time.
True.
And then there's almost no way for StrifeCro to win.
Yeah, StrifeCro needed to, like, draw Unleash the Beast now.
Unleash the Beast would be awkward, though, right now.
Well,
I guess it would power Zul'jin.
yeah, he needs to power up Zul'jin right now, because Zul'jin has nothing.
It has a bunch of bad secrets. That's it. Yeah, it has a snipe and a pressure plate. That's literally it.
Shimmerflight gives a spell, though.
And now Nalguidan got Blast Shield.
Yeah, I think the burst plan has been thrown out the window for a while now.
I knew what you did.
He's going to try, get his damage in. Ziliax in this spot, though. Whew.
It's a 5/4 too. It was buffed by the Armageddillo. He's going to go up to like 30 life.
Yeah, this is pretty silly.
I mean, he can actually just 2 Morden and hero power. Just to play around Deadly Shot.
That works too. Another pressure plate. It's pretty weak stuff. Okay, mark shots. This thing starts to become pretty recursive. You know what he could do? He can mark shot into mark shot. And he can mark shot again. Master's Call. Master's Call would be really good with Zephyrus. Because it only discovers a copy of the minion, so Zephyrus is usually active. I think it is Master's Call. I think he needs to draw stuff. The thing is, what is he going to even draw, right? There are really high-power minions that he can be picking up. Subject 9 is one of them.
He only has Freezing Trap and Snake Trap left in deck. And Rat Trap.
I wonder.
He doesn't have much.
It seems like he has mostly spells in his deck.
He has 1 Unleash the Beast, Subject 9, Spellbreaker, Hyena Alpha, Mass Contender, Deadly Shot, Animal Companion, Rat Trap, Snake Trap, Freezing Trap, Spring Paw, Tracking. He has no gas. $12 damage on board with Ziliax at 17. Nalguidan can just kind of set up for a 2-turn here. And there's nothing StrifeCro can do about it.
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see when Nalguidan can figure out what the secret is, and he's going to test for a couple things. First, sees no explosive or freezing trap, no misdirection.
Okay, then.
Seems like he's just keeping it very safe and conservative.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
I would not mind just like a shield block here or anything. Like, I guess at this point he's just very cautious about how he's going to go about this, and pressure plate activating is probably going to reassure him. Not a big deal. Definitely some order issues, but not a massive difference.
I wonder why he didn't opt to go for...
Right, because now he's not setting up lethal.
Now he's not setting up lethal.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, once you attack with one minion, there's no downside to playing Zilliax.
Right. Now StrifeCro wants to set up the best possible Zul'jin setup, so it's Unleash the Hounds. Probably a Snake Trap. Rat Trap messes up Nalguidan, and Nalguidan's shown that he is vulnerable to messing up a little bit.
StrifeCro saw... This is a bluff.
Right, this is still lethal.
It's still lethal. And honestly, StrifeCro saw that a minion was buffed by our Megadillo. He saw the animation.
Ah! Buffed on the right side.
Yeah, so now he knows.
And now he knows what secret is, and he still has it. There you go.
Unity.
Yeah, it had to be a 100% bluff from StrifeCro. It's interesting, though.
I was anticipating him to attack with a 3-4 first, and then testing for it, and then magnetizing. But I guess that works. He had a lot of ways to cut the onion.
Yeah.
Cut the mustard, rather.
StrifeCro knew he was dead. There's no way for Nalguidan to generate taunts with the cards that he played. He saw both unbuffed 2 Mordants, so he knew that the last card, the buffed card in hand was a buff Zilliax. So he knew he was 100% dead. I wonder if he takes a different line. Because with Dr. Boom active, it's really easy to test for Freezing Trap. It's hard to bluff.
Sure. And I think StrifeCro realized that he was just kind of dead no matter what he did. And so in the end, the Reno Hunter doesn't get there. Nalguidan able to take the series 2-0 and cement himself in first place in Division 8.
That's right. Yeah. We had a chance for a 4-way tie. If StrifeCro had won this series, there would be, at the end of the day, a 4-way tie for first place.
Got it.
And with so many people right behind him, it was an important win for Nalguidan because it gives him that one match lead over everybody else in the division. And taking a first seed does give you, it's kind of similar to the playoffs last season where it's dual elimination groups where the bottom seed gets seeded in the losers bracket of the double elimination group, where the top seed gets seeded in the winner's match of the double elimination group. So they have to win 1 to make it through. So a lot of benefit to it.
Let's go ahead and check in with Nalguidan, who's waiting by for an interview. Nalguidan, can you hear us?
Hi, I hear you.
Cool. So congrats on your victory. You're able to get the 2-0 win. Were you a little bit scared going up against StrifeCro's lineup at all?
Not that much, honestly. After playing versus his decks, I think he was in a very good spot. But yeah, I got a bit scared at game 1 because at least from the games I played, it feels like Shaman wins very easily to Paladin. But then the start of the game was kind of scary, so yeah, I need a better shock, I guess. But most of the time, the matchup felt like the Shaman should get a million minions on board before the Paladin can do something, and then you should trade, and you should... After you get the board once, the Paladin just can't come back because...
Yeah, I mean, we saw that happen, basically, where
Exactly.
the Paladin was able to shut down, or get shut down by the Shaman instead. And it seemed like that was an important thing as you protected the Shaman into the series here. Going into the second game, Reno Hunter versus Warrior, it looked like, again, like a lot of these techs and things that were kind of going into the deck list just happened to be very good against what the Hunter does. But were you ever afraid of the Hunter either?
In that matchup, I think the Warrior wins as well, especially because of the list, because of my list of Warrior, and because StrifeCro list didn't have things like maybe Leroy or Savannah Hyman. I think I still needed some luck there with the brawls, of course. But like, I think even if I lose one brawl, maybe I could still be okay. I don't know. At the end, it's kind of tricky because you need to play around a lot of cards because it's Highlander, and you also need to play around a lot of secrets. So there were some turns that I probably didn't did the correct order at the end, but yeah.
Yeah, so you're far enough ahead. I don't think it mattered too much.
Yeah.
The important thing was that you're able to get that win. And whatever you ate for breakfast or whatever clothes you're wearing, whatever you did, you should do it again because I don't know how you kept winning those brawls. It was pretty sick. All right, checking in on the standings. You're #1 in Division A after 4 weeks play. Any commentary on that? Because you're first at 6-2. Eddie and Gallon right behind you at 5-3. And then Muzzy/Purple at also 4-3.
Yeah, I think it's a very important win, this one. I mean, every win is important, but we are like past half the tournament right now. I think finishing 5-3, I will be like still in a good spot, but 6-2 feels like a lot better.
Yeah, and you're pretty good striking distance of playoffs because last season, people that got to 7 wins were pretty much almost guaranteed a playoff spot. So 1 or 2 more over the course of 3 weeks, I'm sure you could get that. TJ, any questions here for Nalguidan to wrap it up?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything. I was going to ask about the Mech Paladin, but he answered that one well.
Well, I would like to thank, besides the prep I do every week, this week I decided to ask Tincho. He's one of the best aggro wacky deck players here in Argentina and South America. So he helped me a lot to play the matchups with using a StrifeCro deck, of course. So yeah, thanks to Tincho.
Sounds good. Tincho, I think we saw him at a championship last year.
Yeah, he was in championship last year.
Right, that's right.
And he's been...
I think it was a spring one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he wrecks people all day long with Aggro Warrior. So.
Yeah.
He would. All right, well, Nalguidan, thanks for stopping by. Congrats on your victory, and congrats on being #1.
Thank you.